Hello and welcome to Convict Inc. I'm your host, Robert Rosso. Before I begin, there's a person out there I just heard about. His name is Eric Foss, Foss, and his YouTube channel is Eric Foss Standing on Business. I hope I just got that right. I was trying to plug him. He was on Chad Mark's channel, so that'd be a big enough plug anyway. But anyway, check him out. I just heard that he's a really good guy, and he did an interview with Loomis and OG Mike on their channel. So anyway, about an hour or two ago, somebody just came in from Tulsa. I call him a kid. I think he's 28 years old. That was in the Harbor House with me. The Harbor House is a rehab facility I did, and another one that just put it bluntly, fucked me up. So, real quick before I go into the theme of what this is all about, when I was at the Harbor House, when I left, I really took that program seriously. It was a 28-day in-house program, and a lot of guys really looked up to me, I guess you could say. And when they found out that I relapsed out of transitional living, he comes in and he told me that it just destroyed the whole program. Like, everybody was just like, if I couldn't do it, then they just lost a lot of hope, and that really bothers me a lot, and that really hurt. And I just had to say that because that's what I'm feeling right now. Anyway, let me get to the theme. So, for years, and I looked back on this, and it's since my California charge, I'd received a 4-year sentence for probation violation based on getting high. I received an Arkansas sentence based on a dirty urine that ended up not being dirty, but whatever, getting high, if you want to say that. And once again, I find myself back in prison on getting high. And I look around these prisons and I hear these stories, and it's just become so obvious to me and so apparent with so many people that are incarcerated on probation or probation violations that have substance abuse disorders that are being put in these prisons, and these prisons are not equipped to handle, and I'll say us. And what I mean is, I can understand even being locked in some kind of a prison with what's called like an RDAP program, residential drug and alcohol program, but just to send people back into prison and punish us for substance abuse disorders, it is ridiculous given the fact that U.S. prisons are so oversaturated with illegal drugs. I mean, I don't know anybody in here that's come from, and I'm with guys that come from around the country, okay? I'm in a transfer center, and everybody has the same story about prisons. It used to be like this prison would be dry, it wouldn't be, it wouldn't be too much drug activity, or they'd have dry spells. I haven't heard of one, and I'm sure there's people that listen to this channel that can name a few, and they can write it in the comment section. Okay, great, do it. Find them. But over and over again, it's just all these guys that are probationers or supervised federal probation, state parole violations, state parole. So just in case nobody knows, federal supervised release and state parole are just alike, okay? But anybody who gets locked up based solely, not on new charges, but just on getting high, such as myself, and punished for it with incarceration, criminalized, really addiction is what it's kind of doing. I don't see how this even makes sense anymore. I'm sure that when lawmakers did this, you have laws. It's part of the law that if you're on supervised relief, the law says you can't use illegal drugs or you can't drink or whatever, okay? And I'm sure the intent was good, but I'm sure they never intended for prisons to be like they are today. There's no way any person in their right mind, any congressperson, any lawmaker, any judge, if they really knew the true extent of the illegal drug activity, would they still put people in prison where they're just getting so fucked up? And I'm going to tell you this. This isn't going to make me popular, probably. If you take polls, the people that are here, which is, I'm going to say, let's just say 40% are here on probation violations, about. And that's, I got about 100 people in here. And I'm pretty much, I can tell who's what, after a few days, like who's here for what. people talk about, as soon as you get in here, everybody wants to know, what are you here for? So, probation violation, I'm killing my paper. That means they got 14 months like me, and they're not going to be back on supervised release. Okay, what did you do? I got high. How many dirty years did you get? That's the kind of conversations we have. Well, out of, let's just say that's 40% of the population where I'm at. Out of those 40%, easy 70. Easy 70. And I'm not just talking about here. I'm talking about, let's generalize, okay? So I'm getting myself in. 70% are staying loaded. If not 80. I had been locked up 3 months today. I used the day I went to prison in the holding tank, and I used it the next day. So really my sobriety date would be the 4th, but I think I was like really cleanish on the 5th. So my sobriety date's actually the 4th, not the 5th. I think I said the 5th the other day. But and there was a leap year issue. I mean, so I said the 5th a couple times, I do believe. But being clean has been able to make me really look and see a different side of addiction through a different lens, being incarcerated. And to see people wake up in the morning to go on the chase, to feel better, just to block out all this, it's really eye-opening. And I don't understand how this makes sense. A lot of these guys actually had jobs, okay? They got high, but they had jobs. I'm not going to say everybody was the most productive member of society because I don't know them. I can say that it is a huge waste of money and a waste of somebody's time. One could argue that maybe it's not a waste of my time if everything comes out right for me, if I can get out and remain clean. And I say if. I feel it, but I felt it before. When I was clean from 2007, from 2011, with three plus years, I drank 3 times. I always put that out there because there's people that believe that I wasn't truly being sober, whatever. I stopped using drugs for those times. I didn't believe that I would ever use drugs again. When I went to rehab, the first time, this is going back in December of 2022, I felt it, I liked it, but the problem was my mind already was thinking criminal intent. And that's the truth, I can say that. I already had a gambling problem, so my mind was thinking evil thoughts, okay? So based on that, I was around people afterwards, and I said this on a live before. Steiny was one of the guys I was with. I did a show with him. That was one of the guys who was a Nazi lowrider that I did a live with last summer. I was around a criminal class a lot, so it would only be natural that I was already in relapse mode mentally before I even used, okay? But the last time I got out of rehab, and that's just this last year, I went in September. I got out in October. I stayed in transitional living, for a month, so November. I really did believe that I was going to stay sober again. And so I feel it, and then all of a sudden this little thing in my head gets, just comes on, and it's like I don't trust myself still, and I'm not ashamed to say that. Getting out is going to be all the difference in the world. It's easier for me to say it here right now for whatever reason, and I say that it's a trip because one of the drugs of my choice is Suboxone. It became that way from 2012 on and off all the way till I got released, and they give that drug out here. It's out of pill line. So imagine if they give a drug at pill line. Anybody that's been in prison knows that it's floating around everywhere. So it's nothing. I can afford that off his YouTube videos. Okay, I'm just saying if that's what So it's weird that with that kind of temptation that it's just been nothing for me. And I've actually caught myself getting kind of preachy again. And I say this, I talk to guys, and then I even stop. And then I got a guy who comes in today and says that a whole rehab facility, 30 people, it just took the wind out of their sails when they found out I relapsed. That fucked me up. But anyway, I made this about me a little bit too much again. But it's like an audio diary that I'm doing right now anyway. But getting back to the case in point, judges around the country, prosecutors, lawmakers, I don't know what you guys are doing anymore. I guess, like I just said, one can make an argument if I come out and make it out all right. Well, look, Rob, look what they did. It helped you. I'm a small percentage, okay? I'm a small percentage. If this works out, and I do, I'm a small percentage, and I'm going to say that. You're putting people in prison that do have substance abuse disorders in prisons that are completely saturated, and that's not going to change. The amount of drugs in all prisons, from all these stories I heard, is nothing compared to when I first came in. Let me back up. Leavenworth was a freaking party to me. It was like being in the hood. It was like being locked in the hood. You turn around every corner, there's a dope man on the corner, okay? But there were some dry days. There was always something to get loaded on. The amounts are totally different. The saturation, the prices, the being in some cases cheaper in here than on the street. And I'm not talking about this. I don't want to specifically talk about this jail. I'm generalizing. And of course, guys that have been in the joint. And if you're having any doubts, you're saying, "Oh, Rob, well, at such and such the gram was $200." Okay, you're right. So just read between the lines. I'm saying that there's so much, and it doesn't make any kind of sense. What would make sense if you're going to incarcerate people for their addiction issues would send them to our ADAPT program, but we're not equipped for that in this country. That means more psychologists. That means more prisons geared that just have those programs, and they're not ready. They don't have them set up. Right now, the average wait to get into our ADAPT program in the federal system is it's way over a year, I do believe. It was a couple of years. It just depends how much.
You have 1 minute remaining.
But if you have guys that are violating probation and they don't have it set up to where you can just send them to a facility like an RDAP facility. It's not set up that way. That's my general point about that. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and close. Take care. I'm going to do part 2 of the video about my addiction that I did yesterday now.